The following production is part of the Play Some Video Games podcast network.
I say it's time we focus on what really matters. The games. Who's with me?
Good morning and welcome to episode 37 of the PlayStation Experience podcast, the Disney Plus to PSVG Prime's Hulu. We are less expensive and have better content. Anyway, moving on, I am one of your hosts, Seth, and I'm joined, as always, by Justin. How's it going, Justin?
It's
you guys get any snow up in, up in Michigan?
Yeah, I just brushed off the cars for starting this podcast. Not happy about it. Not really sure what time it is. You know, it's or what time of year it is. It's insane. So I'm not in a great mood. Okay. I would say.
Okay.
But I'm here with you.
Yeah,
so,
we don't have any snow. We got a lot of rain. We had some tornado. I always get mixed up between warnings and watches. We had whichever one means there isn't actually a tornado, but there could be. Okay.
Yeah, you might want to clear those up a little bit.
It's not a big deal. There's a tornado siren right behind our house, so I figure if there's a tornado,
you're good. You'll know. That's a good point.
That it's coming.
Yep.
And it goes off if there's a tornado anywhere in the county. So, there were some tornadoes in Ohio, and I'm up a little bit north of us, some pretty devastating things. So anyway, if anybody, and I think all around the United States there have been some tornadoes. So if anybody happens to be listening and you've been impacted by a tornado, I'm sorry. Hope things get cleared up, and I don't know. I'd rather have snow than tornadoes. I'm just telling you.
I would agree with that. Yep.
Michigan again.
Yep.
So. Speaking of tornadoes coming in like a wrecking ball, we want to thank our PSVG Patreon producers who came in like a wrecking ball, flying naked on a wrecking ball to support us. I feel like my jokes are falling flat.
No, they're really good. No, all of our listeners are really laughing right now.
Okay. I probably just offended anybody who has been impacted by a tornado.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you to our PSVG Patreon producers. You can find out more at you can find out more at psvg.blog. You can also find out more at patreon.com/psvg. Thank you to Coach Hulk, Edwin Callow, Devin Tyus, Kevin Austin, Chris M., Kyle Hyman, Bonesaw, Josh Borboni, Barry Cathcart, and Paul Calicote. Thank each of you for listening and for conversing with us on the Discord and for your support. Moving on to what we've been playing, I think this will be pretty light. As always, we are a business. We are the Mullet podcast. We're business in the front, party in the back. So we're going to put Apex Legends off to the end of the show, as always. And so we're going to talk about what we've been playing other than Apex Legends. Justin, what have you been playing other than Apex Legends?
Well, if I was a better editor, I would put crickets on this scene right now. Nothing. I unfortunately, I feel bad, but I have not played anything else. I've been trying. I even I thought there was a sale last week because I think Europe had a PSN sale. Yeah. And I got excited for a minute. Yeah. Oh, okay. I'll go buy something. I really need to play something right now. I was actually thinking about maybe getting one of the Assassin's Creeds or something. Just like I need something to play. And I don't want to buy the Division. So, but there's no sale this week or last week, and just nothing.
Yeah.
So I think for me right now,
try the Surge.
I did download.
Oh yeah, you don't like that kind of stuff. You were more interested in Conan.
Conan, yeah. I figured I'd at least give it a try. I did, but I'm running out of space on my hard drive as well, so I've got that issue. I still have not beat Red Dead. I'm in the epilogue still, and I just need to spend probably another hour, maybe 2, beating it. And for some reason, I don't want to go back to it. It's like
which epilogue are you in? Are you in the first one? Still?
Yes.
Okay. Well then, the epilogues combined are maybe 6-7 hours.
Yeah, so I probably have 1 or 2 hours left, or maybe more. So I don't know. But nothing for me right now. I think at this point I'm waiting for Days Gone.
Okay, I think with Red Dead, you just need to uninstall it. Just watch the. You can go on YouTube and watch the story stuff from the end of it.
Yeah, I think that's probably my best bet right now.
So
it takes up about half my hard drive.
It's been so long. Yeah, it's been so long. So I've been playing MLB The Show. Basically just going through my Road to the Show mode. I'm a third baseman for the Birmingham Barons still. I'm just in May, so I'm like a month and a half in. So obviously I haven't been playing it a ton, but I have been doing one thing I like about the show's difficulty is you can select a difficulty level. They have like 5 levels, or you can put it on dynamic difficulty. Which, of course, the serious players just put it on All-Star or Hall of Fame and just go from there. But on dynamic difficulty, you start on rookie, and then the better you do, it gets progressively more difficult. And so I am now up to All-Star Plus in difficulty, which is the hardest level is Hall of Fame, which would be 1 notch above where I'm at right now. And it's been good. It's been organic, and I'll increase my difficulty and I'll struggle for a few at-bats, and then I'll figure it out, and then I'll increase my difficulty and I'll struggle, and then I'll figure it out. I'm about plateauing right now. I think if I leak up into Hall of Fame, I'm going to really struggle, and so it's starting to balance for me. But it's a great game, enjoying it. And not feeling the pull to really play anything else. Like I wanted to try out the Surge, but I just if I'm playing, I want to play the show, or Apex. But
yeah, well, it's always hard.
Depends on if I'm playing and if I see with what.
I was gonna say it's always hard.
If I.
It's always hard when we have a free game, but it's old. It's an old game. It's 5 years old. The Surge is so. The show is brand new. Why wouldn't you want to play that? Mm-hmm. And it's super polished and everything.
Yeah. So anyway, the new releases for this week, for the week of April 16th. So I don't actually think it's on here, but this week is when the Dreams early access comes out.
Yeah.
So that should drop. It should be out by now, by the time people are listening to this. I think it might have dropped on Tuesday. $30, and you get basically what was in the Dreams beta. All the creation stuff, and then access to all of the creators' games. So that should it'll be really neat to kind of follow that as it gets going again.
Yeah, I definitely think, me and you specific, we'll definitely be keeping tabs on that. I don't plan on buying it day one, but I do think I'll jump into the early access portion. I might just give it, a month or so. Let some stuff build up, then I'll jump in, maybe play around with the creation tool set. But after about a month, I imagine I'll have some stuff to play. That's about how long it took for people to make decent stuff in the beta. So, and that's already carried over anyways. So.
Yeah, all the beta stuff is carried over. And I have to imagine people, the really creative people who got access to the beta, played around with it, figured out what they can do, and now they've spent the time since then probably storyboarding or coming up with a game plan so they know when they get access to it again exactly what they're going to do. So it'll be fun to watch, and I imagine that Media Molecule will do their weekly dream streams where they highlight some of the more creative games that have been posted. So that'll be exciting time. Other games coming over this week: the Konami Anniversary Collection Arcade Classics. This includes 8 arcade masterpieces of the 80s, from Nemesis to Haunted Castle, enhanced with modern features. I'm not excited about this one, but the other 2 collections are Castlevania and Contra. And I'm really excited about Contra.
Yeah, that could be a lot of fun.
I've actually never played Castlevania, but
yeah, I played Contra, but not Castlevania. Yeah, and then I know that
PS
World War Z is coming out this week, which is I'm not really that interested in it, but I heard it's actually really, really good. It's a third person co-op shooter, kind of like a Call of Duty Zombies mode, but in third person. And I've just heard really good things about it. Kind of came out of nowhere as far as my radar, but looks good. So
yeah. I guess and it's different because this is co-op, where Days Gone is single player, story focused. But and I've never seen World War Z, but the picture I get of it is of all the zombies chasing out, like a huge mass of zombies chasing after whomever, Brad Pitt. So in some ways, I sort of feel like, oh, that's kind of like Days Gone combat without the story. I don't know. There's a game called Trugerbrook that I think sounds interesting. I don't know if in practice it will be, but the description says, enjoy an adventurous vacation to a 1960s parallel universe, a thrilling sci-fi mystery adventure game that takes place at a remote village in rural Germany. You won the trip in a lottery, or at least that's how it seems, but instead of getting some rest, you could find yourself having to save the world. It just looks really stylish, and it's an adventure game, and looks pretty neat. So there are 2 games coming out this week that are it looks like they're from different developers, and they let you take the reins in a sport that is immensely popular in all over the world, snooker. So there are 2 snooker games coming out: Snooker 19, coming to PS4 digital and retail, and Snooker Nation Championship 2019, coming to digital. So Snooker 19 says this is the most authentic simulation of the sport ever created, with TV-style presentation and commentary, true-to-life physics, and advanced artificial intelligence. Choose from offline and online modes, from quick play online matchmaking to global online tournaments that link in real time with the live World Snooker calendar. Justin, I have a question for you.
Shoot.
What is snooker?
Well,
I don't know.
Because I'm staring at the pictures, I believe it to be billiards, which at least that's what I thought. Like, I thought it was pool. I'm looking at these guys.
Okay.
They're holding pool cues. They're all actually, that's one picture. They all are putting the dust on all of their pool cues at the same time. So that's interesting. I guess that's like the version of holding the football, like out at the screen. Like that's their like move when they're taking pictures. They just look very serious and put the dust on their pool cue. Never heard of snooker though. It sounds like a made up word.
Yeah, I made it.
Yeah. This is
so snooker, according to Wikipedia, is a cue sport which originated among British Army officers stationed in India in the latter half of the 19th century. It's played on a rectangular table covered with green cloth or baize, with pockets at each of the 4 corners. So it's pool. Okay, pool.
It's pool.
So clearly, this should have just been called pool. any snooker fans who know that there's some difference between pool and snooker, I apologize for offending you. But pool. I used to like video game pool. I used to play. There was a pool game on computer. I played a lot.
Yeah, I think everyone played that.
Yeah.
EA used to have a website. I think it was called like Pogo Games. Does that sound familiar to you at all?
Yeah, vaguely.
All right. I remember playing pool on like a Pogo Games website. I think EA owned it, and it was just a mashup of a bunch of like Flash games. You could like collect coins and turn those coins in to do something or another. I don't know. It was like early internet video gaming stuff. I don't know. I have vague memories of that. That does nothing for anyone, you or the listeners, but
no,
just putting it out there.
That's all right. PSVR, there is a game called Ghost Giant. The cover art looks pretty cool. You are the protector of the lonely little boy Lewis, who needs a helping hand. And there's a hashtag Donnie game. So Donnie, I know you're listening right now. Whip out your PS Vita and download Nurse Love Syndrome Re-Therapy. Meet cheerful Kaori Sawai, fresh out of nursing school, as she joins Yurigahama Hospital. Surviving a near-death experience as a child left her with a desire to become a nurse. So, Nurse Love Syndrome Re-Therapy. Donnie, you will be, as soon as you download that and are ready for to review it, you can come on the PSXP show once again. And with that, we're going to move on from new releases, because obviously there's not a whole lot there. The big news of last week, which of course broke on release day for our podcast, because that's how news breaks in the world of PlayStation, is that you can now change your online PSN IDs. That broke last Wednesday. You can should be able to go to your console and change it, or you can go to the website and you can change your ID. You go on your PS4, you go to settings, account management, account information, profile, and online ID, and you can change it on there. It's free the first time, and then after that, it's either $10 or $5 if you're a PlayStation Plus member. And when you change your online ID, so if my ID is Seth as the GOAT, if I change it to whatever, to Seth PSVG, no one else would be able to swoop in and get Seth as the GOAT. You always kind of own that as well. Justin, have you changed your ID?
No, I unlike the first time I made a PlayStation ID, I'm putting a lot of thought and consideration into this. It's a big decision. It's kind of like naming your child, you know.
Yep.
You know, except for I think it's pay probably a little more than $10 or $5 to rename your child, but you know, so.
Okay. I do know that Donnie has done this, and even though there are some warnings with a number of games, it should work with basically most games that people are playing today on PS4, but there are some warnings like Everybody's Golf. Supposedly it creates some errors, and just some older PS4 games. And then we also didn't know how it would work with PS3 or Vita. Donnie's done the name change, and he's tested some of the games that supposedly have issues, and he's also played on his PS3 and Vita and hasn't had any issues. Like maybe he's gotten some warnings, but he hasn't lost any saves. He hasn't lost purchases or anything like that. So it's been and I haven't really seen from other people whether they've lost things or whatever, but it's been a positive thing. It's not the maybe most elegant solution, but it's a solution and something they needed to do. So any other thoughts on PSN ID changes? Maybe we should have a survey. We can have a poll on Twitter for what to change your name to.
Oh, I'm very open to suggestions. Okay. No, I'm kind of just glad that they just got it out there. Yep, it's not the perfect solution, but at least now they can say it's done.
Yep.
They clearly made a bad design choice in the very, very, very beginning of PlayStation Network.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of haunted them since. So I imagine that even though this solution isn't perfect, it was probably still very difficult to figure out, and they got it done. So
yeah. You have to think if they could go back to when they created the PlayStation 3, and I love the PS3, and I think the games look great, and they're great for the time, but it's made, now we're kind of in the now of gaming and in the future of gaming. The architecture of the PS3 has made a lot of things more difficult, like backwards compatibility. Obviously the name change thing, whatever's going on with that. It just has made the decisions they made when building the PS3 are still haunting them like 15 years later.
Yeah.
And it just kind of stinks. Before we head into some Star Wars talk, wanted to touch briefly on Rage 2. I thought this was kind of fun. Are you interested in Rage 2? I think it comes out in May. Okay.
Yeah, not really. I mean, it looks a lot like Doom in a weird way. Probably because it's like same.
It's an id game. Or yeah. I don't know if Rage 2 was still id, but it's
collaboration was id at the very least. So, and those very fast paced shooters don't always grab me for some reason. It's like I like a little bit of slowness, and so yeah.
So anyway, Rage 2 looks pretty bonkers, and I know a lot of people on PSVG are interested in it. So it's coming with a variety of old school cheats that you need to unlock. So it's not like a cheat code, but throughout the game you'll be able to unlock additional cheats. Some of them come unlocked if you pre-order the game or pre-order the maybe a special edition. I'm not sure, but here are some of the cheats. He's on fire. NBA Jam announcer Tim Kitzrow will accompany you on your journey, or at least his voice, yelling encouraging things at you. Get good. Making things explode in one hit is great. The name of this cheat is not. Son of Thor, surround yourself in comforting electricity and kill enemies that get too close. Clegg support, an NPC that you're hired to track down and kill, is transformed into a friendly AI who will back you up. Phoenix rejector seat. The rejector seat does just the opposite of an ejector seat, sending your Phoenix hurtling up into the air and depositing you on the ground. Okay. So those are five cheats. Maybe there's going to be, I guess there's going to be a lot more, but it just the idea of the NBA Jam announcer narrating your stuff.
They're definitely leaning into the wackiness of this game.
Yeah, so I thought that was cool. Anybody who's interested in Rage 2, that sounds really really good. I haven't played a Doom. I don't know that I've played an id game since like Doom 2, 20 years ago at this point. So, on to the big news from over the weekend. Star Wars had their celebration event, and they revealed the trailer for Episode 9 and some information there, which honestly, I would love to go blind into Episode 9. I don't need to know anything more about it, but there's no way. There's just no way to avoid it and be on the internet. I mean, you already know, even if you haven't seen the trailer, you've likely seen a headline that talks about what was at the very end of the trailer.
Yes. Yep. I would agree with that. Yep.
And I don't want to spoil who kind of shows up there at the end of the trailer, but that's something that would have been really cool to just see. Like, you're sitting down in the theater, you have no idea that character is around or has an impact, and then holy crap, there he is.
Yeah.
But what I'm not too hung up on spoilers anyway. It doesn't.
No, really, I agree with you. I'm very much. I've actually, the last year or two, I've kind of stopped watching as much trailers. I know what I like And so as soon as a movie is announced, especially if it's a Marvel movie or a Star Wars movie, I know I'm going to like it.
Yep.
Like, I don't know who I'm, and most Star Wars or Marvel, like, they would agree. Like, they know they're going to like the movie. I don't need to know how much I'm going to like it, depending on, I like to just sit in the theater and be surprised.
Yep.
And so, like, I watched the very first trailer for Endgame. I've not watched anything since.
Yep.
And I would like to do the same thing with Star Wars, but yep, you're right. The very first trailer showed off something that would have been cool to see, to be shocked by.
Actually showed off another character too. There,
yes, it did. Yes, you're right. Yeah,
there's a couple characters that are.
Again, I knew about that because I had seen news about it. Like I could just be scrolling through IGN and just be spoiled on something like that. So a little hard, yep, you're not wrong on that end.
So. But related specifically to PlayStation or to video gaming, there was another panel for the game Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. It's an upcoming third-person action-adventure game made by Respawn Entertainment, published by EA, of course. Single-player story puts players in the boots of Cal Kestis, a surviving Padawan in a post-Order 66 galaxy where the Jedi are considered traitors. The galaxy has never been a more dangerous place for a Jedi. The once wholly trusted Jedi Knight are now betrayed without hesitation by a fearful populace. Whoever wrote this on PS Blog needs to edit it. Only the Force can be a trusted ally. It's up to Cal to hold the light of the Jedi Order above the darkness as he ventures across new worlds and uncovers ancient pasts. Working together with a team of allies, Cal must do whatever it takes to survive as the Imperial Inquisitors hunt him down as he seeks to restore the Jedi Order. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order releases on PlayStation 4 on November 15th. There was a 2.5 minute trailer also. What are your thoughts on Fallen Order?
I think it looks really good. I'm very excited for this game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little shocked that it's 100% one single player. I know they kind of said that already, but I just always assumed. I mean, they're a multiplayer studio. They have been until this point.
Yeah.
Even with first Titanfall was exclusively multiplayer. Second Titanfall had a really great single player campaign though. So I guess we know that they're able to do it and they can create cool stories themselves. And I'm sure they had plenty of help from, Disney and the people who are running Star Wars stuff. I'm sure that this should be completely canon now.
Yeah.
Which it sounds like a really awesome story. I think everything looked good in the trailer.
Yeah.
It didn't look, I would say, it's still so I think Respawn works in the Source engine, which is quite a bit older engine.
Yeah, that's what Apex is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I think you can kind of see it in this trailer. Like, it's not the absolutely best modeled game. If you look at Battlefront, for instance, those models look absolutely ridiculously good. Like lifelike in a way. This still looks like a video game to me. But I'm fine with all that. I really don't care. I'm sure we didn't see any really gameplay. So I'm still very curious about that.
So this is not in the Source engine. It's in Unreal 4.
Okay. So that's good.
Supposedly. I don't know. That's not been confirmed exactly, but that's at least that I can see in a very quick. Will be powered by Unreal 4. So it is Unreal 4.
Okay. I still thought, something about it was like video gamey to me, as far as the characters and everything. But it's a video game, so I guess that's a good thing.
I do wonder too whether it'll be just kind of third-person action adventure like an Uncharted, kind of that style of a game, or whether there's any RPG light mechanics or even skill trees or whatever. Not that I need skill trees.
So, they're certainly setting that up though. With you're playing as a Padawan, who's a beginner. So I would presume that over time you get access to more force powers or something like that. And then maybe it kind of ends. I have a feeling that you won't necessarily start with a lightsaber. Maybe you kind of grow into that, and so yeah.
Now it does. One of the things that came out about the combat, which sparked some conversation over on our Discord, is that I saw a headline somewhere where it said combat is Dark Souls-like. And here on sort of one of the official press release bullet points says cinematic immersive combat. Jedi Fallen Order delivers the fantasy of becoming a Jedi through its innovative lightsaber combat system, striking, parrying, dodging, partnered with a suite of powerful force abilities you'll need to leverage to overcome obstacles that stand in your way. This combat system is intuitive but takes training and practice to fully master its nuances as you gain new powers and abilities along your adventure. Okay, skill tree. It sounds actually a little bit like, and I haven't played Sekiro yet, but in Sekiro you've got you've got your sword, and you have the one sword throughout the whole game that you can do a lot of stuff with, and then you've got the prosthetic hand that you can upgrade throughout, and it has the grappling hook, but then it has a bunch of other powers that it does. Maybe not quite force powers, but so it sort of sounds like that style of maybe upgrade tree and
exactly. Versus
probably not as hard, but
yeah, it does sound like a tree versus just gaining experience points and kind of putting them in different categories, which is kind of like what a normal Bloodborne or Dark Souls would be like. Right. So that fits the Star Wars universe perfectly, and the Jedi, perfectly. So yeah. I'm very excited. Yeah. I think it looks great. I think it's gonna be one of the best Star Wars games probably ever made. There's been a lot of so-so games in the past. I liked the what was the
Force Unleashed?
Yes, Force Unleashed is what I was thinking of. I liked those games quite a bit. I played both of those, and those were kind of just like fun action-y games. I have a lot of faith in Respawn's ability to make a good story though as well. So
yeah.
And
so I haven't really seen many people talk about this, but Respawn, their lineage is Call of Duty, and then they left there and then started Respawn, and they've had Titanfall and Apex. It's all first person shooters. And of course, Guerrilla Studio went from Killzone to Horizon Zero Dawn. So obviously it's something that can be done, and you hire the right people to do that kind of animation and whatever. So, and certainly in the trailer, everything looked great, as far as fluidity and whatever. But I do wonder the transition from first person to third person, if that changes anything. But right, as far as Respawn goes, I really enjoyed Titanfall 2's story and loved the gameplay. And obviously, I love the gameplay of Apex Legends. So I'm at the point with Respawn where whatever they do, I'm interested in until they give me a reason to not be interested in it. I guess
I would agree. Yep.
Speaking of Respawn, Jason West, I think, is one of the names of one of the founders. Yeah, Epic Games hires Infinity Ward and Respawn co-founder Jason West. So he has left Respawn and is going over to Epic. I don't know if how big of a deal that is. I don't know enough about the history of Infinity Ward and then Respawn to know, other than that I know that Jason West is one of the co-founders. But
yeah, he was never like kind of the head. Well, I wouldn't say he was never the head guy, but he was never the. They always put Vincent Zampella out in the front of the camera, so I wonder if he was kind of working in the background a lot. And who knows? People leave and go to different jobs all the time. So
okay, I guess according to this article on PC Gamer, West has been out of the game development business for a while now, having left Respawn in 2013. Okay, so it's not like this guy helped Apex Legends get out and then jump ship. He's been out for a while, I guess.
Yeah.
So, okay. Well, but still, I thought, that, sort of that lineage or whatever, going over to Epic, just with the timing of Apex Legends being a big deal, and then now the Star Wars game.
It did look a little suspicious. Yeah.
Was interesting. So, okay. Well, and then keeping up with Respawn, and hopping over to Apex Legends Corner.
Yeah.
Close it out with Apex. How's it going this week?
Pretty good. I did have a win last week. Wait, was that last week? I'm not getting enough wins to know when I'm getting, they're few and far between. Getting a lot of seconds and thirds, which is still fun. I still enjoy making it that far. It's just always a little bit frustrating. I still really like playing as Octane.
Yeah.
I'm getting better and better with him. I've also played with Lifeline for a little bit and trying to get used to her. So the one thing with the Battle Pass that's kind of forced me to play with different characters is you get a character bonus, which basically doubles up your points for each match for the Battle Pass.
Yep.
And I used up all my Bangalore bonus points almost right away because I was playing as her every single time. So now I've been playing as Octane, and I decided I would not go back to Bangalore, but play as Lifeline. So I do like that. That was one good thing about it. As much as I don't necessarily love the Battle Pass and the way they set it up, that was a smart move to do that because it kind of forced me to play as other characters.
Now that's a bonus that's available every week.
It is. Oh, yeah. I did not know that.
Yeah. Right. So you have 25,000 points, with each character each week. Now I don't get even close to sniffing 25,000 points, period.
Okay.
In a week, just because
I must have had a really good week I must have had a really good week or something. And because I noticed it, I was like, oh, I don't have any bonus points, so I'll switch characters. I think that's actually what forced me to, I was like, oh, I'll buy Octane then, I guess.
Yeah.
Nope, did not know that. I mean, how do you know stuff like that?
You read and listen to podcasts. And
there you go. Yeah.
Talk to friends. You get 25,000 bonus points every week for each character. Also, every day you get your first kill with each character. You get 500 points. So that's what I generally play Tuesday nights and Sunday nights, and then some mornings here and there I might do a match or two, but I've been doing MLB instead. But once I get a kill with Octane, then I'll switch over to Lifeline and then so forth. So of course I don't get that many kills in general. I'm still very much enjoying the game. There's a article over on PCGamesN.com that says, sadly, those huge Apex Legends creatures aren't real. Apparently somebody tried to jump to those creatures that are out in the ocean.
Yeah.
And the way to do that, you open a supply crate and then melee attack the open lid several times. When you hop on top, it'll send you flying across the map in the direction you'd been attacking, and putting a jump pad down first seems to increase the effect. So this guy on Reddit, the Plake, managed to fire himself right at a pair of those huge creatures as the circle closed, and he went through the air and then just kind of goes through them. They have no collision detection, which, I mean, considering that they are, basically inaccessible, that's not too surprising that it would just be a visual.
No, the most surprising thing to me was that you could exit the arena at all.
Yeah.
I would have thought there would be an invisible wall. So, no, this is stuff like that's been in video games forever, where when you reach an area that you're not necessarily supposed to be in, they're not real models. They're just visual models or something like that. So, I thought that was pretty funny. It was, have you seen the, people keep stacking caustics, I don't know what they're called, the little bombs.
Yeah,
you can actually throw those on another character, and so someone threw like 6 of them on a character, so he's like walking around with this huge string of bombs just attached to his head. They're like swinging around, and then they also had a guy playing as, I never remember.
Gibraltar?
No, who was the robot's name?
Pathfinder.
They also had Pathfinder attach his hook to the very last bomb and just swing him around like a huge swing. I don't know. It looked insane. You should look that up. People are doing like funny stuff in this game. I can't imagine doing that in a match. Like, it's funny that there's no. It's not like Fortnite has a creators mode now, or you can kind of mess around. There's nothing like that. So they're just doing this in the middle of a match. They could get shot at any time. So I think it's pretty funny.
Hey, with the stacking caustics canisters, I think if you have Gibraltar's shield and then you put the canister on top of Gibraltar's shield, it actually expands the range of the toxic gas.
Because it
by
goes around
by a little bit. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's kind of just people are being creative and in the way that they approach things. It really, it's a game, and maybe that's just a hallmark of battle royales. You've got to take what you've been given and make some use out of it. Sometimes you're going to drop, and the only weapons you're going to have are the Mozambique and the P2020.
Yep.
And you just got to roll with it for a little bit. And I've been still having fun. I am still a little disappointed with the battle pass. But my current goal, I'm only level 7 right now. My current goal is to eventually at least get up to level 12. That gets me another Apex loot box, and then go from there. But it's the one. It's really the only. If I'm playing with friends, that's the game we want to play. There's no other game. So, do you think it needs something else, or with your experience with, I guess, Call of Duty and being more multiplayer shooter focused than I am anyway? Do you think something need to change about Apex Legends, or you're still playing it a lot? So.
I'm still playing a lot because it feels really good to play still. It's competitive, and that's why multiplayer games do well. Is they're competitive, and people like to be competitive. I think it needs a little bit better progression of some kind.
Mm-hmm.
I think they really messed up with the battle pass. That's the one thing that's always kind of kept me into Call of Duty multiplayer, as I like the feeling of always earning stuff. No matter how you do in a match, as long as you're contributing, then you earn something. That's something that they are definitely missing. It's something they can fix pretty easily. So I think they need to have a lot of changes to make in the next battle pass. That's really kind of it. Yeah.
And then, and I think pretty soon we should hear about, weapons. Another weapon, the L-Star, is by pretty much any account the next weapon that's going to come out.
It's been leaked times now.
Data miners uncovered like 5 or 6 possible weapons, which again, from Respawn themselves, have said, throughout their development process, they'll try things and then either figure out it works or doesn't work, and some remnants may still be left in code. But a couple of the weapons, one of them was a grenade launcher, which I think, that would change the game quite a bit. Would be pretty interesting. And then maybe another one was like a rocket launcher type of thing. So, could be interesting to see, whether those are things that come or those are things they've tried out and then decided, well, grenade launcher just really, if you have that weapon and you're down to the end, you can, just one-shot kill 3 people at once, which would be kind of unfair. Who knows what the process is there, but and then pretty soon, I'd imagine sometime maybe here in May, another character. So, and then it'll also be interesting to see how they change the maps, or if they have a new map or something. So, I don't know. That's great. Sorry, we kind of beat the drum every week with Apex Legends, but it's a great game.
I mean, there's still fun stuff going on in that. So
yeah, we are looking forward. This week, the Dreams early access is here, so we'll start having that kind of stuff to talk about next week. Days Gone comes, which is pretty exciting, and then heck, we're already into May, and years flying by. So with that, I think we're good. You can find us on Twitter at PSXP Podcast. You can find us on Discord. You can find the link to the PSVG Discord at psvg.blog. And you can find me on PSN at Seth is the Goat. Justin's at closet_gamer for at least a little while longer until he changes it to
open to
something else. Yep. Oh, yeah. And with that, I think we're going to sign off. Have a great week.
And though we may pledge fanboy allegiances to different flags, deep down inside we all serve one master, one king. And his name is gaming. Forever may he reign!